Alright guys, the mission of the day, should I choose to accept it, is to create aesthetic. So today I'll be taking this beautiful vintage bookcase which I found on the side of the road on recycling day, and we will be giving her a makeover and hopefully paping her up to host all of my repurposed, thrifted, recycled, found objects into a beautiful cabinet of aesthetic glory. Now, part of the glory of this entire project is that it is made up of entirely recycled or thrifted objects. So, starting with the bookcase, which we found on the street, and then going to all of the marvelous things that I will be filling it with, which I will go over in a little bit more detail later, but even all the way down to these LED strips. A slightly embarrassing secret, but a large percentage of my life is actually spent rummaging around in other people's trashes, because it is amazing what people will throw away. Even here in Denmark, where there is a very good recycling system, people still throw away things that are in perfectly good shape. Take, for example, these LED strips. These were found in the bin of electronics to be thrown away. I have I think about 10 of them here, and that will be more than enough to put one in each section of this cabinet here. If I scoot out of the way, you can see that there are 7 sections of this cabinet here. But actually I have put in some more shelf holders because I will be making an 8th shelf because I kind of liked the way that that looked more. Now what I would really love is for all of these to be chained together into one long strand of light so that I can turn them all on with the flip of a single switch. Each one fits basically perfectly within each of these compartments. So that is a stroke of good luck. But that does mean that I will be needing to drill some small holes so that the cables can pass from one to the other. So what we'll be doing basically is attaching an LED strip up on the top, then drilling a small hole in the wall between the compartments, and then running some short length of cables between those compartments, and then soldering them onto the next LED in the strip, and so on and so forth. And hopefully then we can hide some of those cables with some of the books or larger items that I have collected. So that is the game plan, and now we need to carefully drill some holes. Now that all the holes are drilled, it was time to learn how to solder, and I had a very willing and patient instructor to help me with the process. Wait. Alright guys, here she is. This is the result of tonight's work. So we managed to get all of the LED lights in. They are definitely not permanently in place. They are currently duct taped there. So that is going to be something to work on for tomorrow. But the hard wiring is all done and I think it looks fantastic. It makes a massive difference in terms of how well you can see the inside of the bookcase. So with lights and without lights. Also, please appreciate the fact that all of these lights can be turned on and off with the flick of a single switch. Also, I learned a new skill, so that was really fun. I am definitely no expert at welding, but I am certainly much better now than I was a couple of hours ago, so that is fantastic. The game plan for tomorrow is going to be to tackle some of the finishing touches, cleaning up some of these wires that are currently just dangling for the moment, as well as finding some double-sided tape to attach the LED strips more permanently, because right now, like I said, it's just duct tape. Once that's all done, I am also going to cover the front here with some sort of either cardboard or wood strip, painted black so it's nice and subtle, because right now it's very obvious that there is a strip of LEDs in this cabinet, and I would like to cover that up and make the lighting a bit more discreet and aesthetic. That is the game plan for tomorrow. Then once that is all done is my favorite part, and that is that I can finally start putting all of the knickknacks inside, arranging them, organizing them, seeing what looks good, and generally just getting my aesthetic on. I can't wait for that part. Let's check back in tomorrow once I've had a good night's sleep. Alright, back for day 2 with my double-sided tape, and we are ready to attack this cabinet and clean it up. First things first, before I can actually use this tape to permanently tack those LED strips in place, I have one shelf that needs addressing because it does not match any of the other ones, and that is, of course, the shelf that I made. So right now it is a really ugly plywood, and I kind of have two options. I can either stain it or I can paint it. I just don't have any wood stain, and I do have black paint. So instead, I am going to paint it black, since anyway this is the shelf that's going to be holding my typewriter, and the base of my typewriter is black and will be covering up the entire shelf anyway. So we're going to jump right in with painting that, get that painted really fast, and then while that's drying, I'm going to take my handy dandy double-sided tape and tape my LED strips into place so that they will stay there. Then I'm going to hide the cords, because right now they're kind of poking out all over the place and it's a bit unruly. So let's go ahead and take care of all the cleaning up fussy details, and then we can go ahead and move on to the fun part. Cut out here some cardboard strips, and then I've painted them black, and what these do is these are going to go just perfectly in front of each LED strip to hide it so that the lights aren't blinding you as you look at it. It's going to give it a bit more subtle, indirect lighting feel, as opposed to being very obviously LEDs kind of just jammed in there. So hopefully that looks good, and then once that is all done, I can go ahead and move on with the part that I am here for, which is taking all of this beautiful aesthetic stuff here and putting it in this cabinet. This is what the whole point of this video is about, and I am so here for this. So let's go ahead and take care of the cleaning up fussy details, and then we can go ahead and move on to the fun part. Alright, all the cardboard pieces are in here, and is it a 100% light-proof solution? No, it's not. You can still see that there are, in fact, some gaps in the top where the light is peeking through. It is not like 100%, but I'd say all in all, it's about 1,000 times better than it was before. Things are still easily lit up in here, but it's a lot less blinding when you look at it from the front, which is great. All in all, I'm very happy with this, but moreover, I am super excited to move on to putting all of my knickknacks in here. I love this. It's like antique Tetris, kind of. My cabinet of curiosities is all done, for now, and I am super pleased with the results. It is so nice to finally have somewhere to store all of my aesthetic bits and bobs, and it will definitely spice up my filming background for future videos. Not all of the compartments are permanently filled, which is actually perfect because it leaves me room to switch things out as I find more vintage goodies in the future. The LEDs were a massive upgrade and relatively simple to do. I didn't know how to solder before this project, and while I wouldn't consider myself an expert, this was definitely a great first project to learn on. Best of all, this project cost me exactly $0. Everything in it was found in the trash or along the side of the road to be given away by its previous owners. I think it just goes to show how one person's trash truly is another person's treasure, and with a little bit of love and care, how almost anything can be given a second life. I hope you enjoyed the final results and that perhaps this inspires you in one way or another to work on a project of your own. Perhaps you have some knickknacks floating around your house that are in need of a home. Or maybe you just have a room that's in need of a little bit of extra flair. Or maybe it just inspires you to give that pile of trash on the side of the road a second glance, in case any of it can make its final home not in a landfill, but in your living room. If this video inspires you to create something, please share it with me on Instagram. I would love to create a community there where we can share all of our creations and where I can highlight your work as well as my own. And if you liked this video, please show it by giving a like, leaving a comment, or sharing this channel with your friends. That's it for this week, everybody, and until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and start creating.